Greetings, comrades. This is Sergei Kilemov, and welcome to part 1 of the Update 90 special in HD VR. As for those who aren't aware, Update 90 was recently released in HD VR and has a ton of quality of life improvements. We got the updated ammo spawner. We got new targets in the indoor range, which is why we're here today, and we'll be in the next video. And of course, one of the bigger additions is attachable bipods. The bipod systems have improved, and they added underbarrel bipods you can mount on weapons you want. But of course, the biggest draw are the new guns, and this update added quite a few guns. I can't fit them all in one video as much as I would like to. I'm pretty sure now you're going to sit through a 30-minute video just to see what kind of videos or guns are that have been released. So we're going to split this into 2 parts. The first video will be the pistols and rifles, and the next video will be the shotguns. And they're getting their own video because this update adds quite a few shotguns in this in this game, and it's quite a treat. Let me just give myself some space here. And of course, we're going to start the pistols, and I think you know which one we're going to start with. We're going to start with the compound pistol. This is a very interesting weapon. You can see it's pretty oversized for my hands. You know, my hands barely wrap around this. I can barely reach the trigger as it is now. But what's cool about this weapon is that it's infinite ammo and has a built-in energy cell inside. You don't need to reload it or anything. However, it can overheat. And before we actually start shooting, you can see we got some new targets. Before, it was just this plain Jane target here. But now, we got a few new targets. Got the Bullseye Marksman. And we got the more colorful Bullseye Splatter, which basically it's from a distance it's easier to see where you hit your shots. So that's pretty nice. But we also got IPSC IPSC targets, which basically they're a little more controlled. Basically, you have a few zones, and you pretty much have to learn to aim center mass. So we got the small one here. We got a slightly taller one here. And we got the more traditional human-sized, or human-shaped target, I should say. We have the head there, the torso there. And we have another one of those. Like the target is not tasty. Do not leave in the presence of angry geese. I don't think we need to worry about that. These two aren't too much different. I believe this is meant to be a little smaller, but oh well. We're going to go with this for the time being. And as you can see, not only has the ammo spawner been changed, but the target spawner has been changed in the indoor range. We still got that, and we also got a special scoring controller here, where before it was just a piece of paper, you had to click on it for the next target, but here you actually have a few extra options here. Shot clock sets, time set clock countdowns, clock modes, stuff like that. So if you really want to pay attention to your shots and your scores and stuff, that's a nice option to have. But as you can see, it's much easier to set your ranges now. And the targets actually flip around, which is really nice. It's still not a static piece. Anyway, let's give this compound pistol a shot. As I said, it is oversized. Like, it's barely fitting in my hand here, and I have pretty big hands. But the oversized proportions make up for it in a big way. You can see infinite ammo, but if you keep firing it, it'll overheat. So something to keep in mind if you're planning on going akimbo with these bad boys. Very cool weapon. I was not expecting a weapon like this to be included, but I'm glad it is. Now, not sure how you you reset the targets here now. I'm used to doing here, but yeah. Now, let's get to the other pistol. This is a 6-hour P226 Mark 25. This is a pistol used by the Navy SEALs. Chamber in 9mm. Of course, we got the 15-round mags and extended 20-round mags. Very nice looking pistol. Of course, we got the rail on the bottom, so if you want to put a laser sight, you can. And of course, if you want to put a scope on, you'll need to use a special rail adapter for pistols. And just in case there weren't enough pistols in the game, they decided to add another one, and I will admit, very nice looking pistol, but for me, aesthetics wise, it cannot compete with the 1911, but that's just me. So that's a 15 rounder. Now for the extended 20 rounder. As I do interesting, see all those little smaller targets on the sides? Let's try hitting those. Keyword is try. Very nice looking pistol. But that's not what you came to see. Well, probably most of you. You came to see the big guns, the rifles. The shotguns, again, will be in the next video. So, let's get this one out of the way. This is the HK416. Definitely looks like an M4, doesn't it? This is basically from Heckler & Koch. This is a revised version of the M4, if you will. You got the familiar features. You got the forward assist. You got the bolt release here. Magazine release here. But what's cool about it are the rails. We've got a full-length rail system on the top, 2 on the side, 1 on the bottom. So if you want to go tactical, you can. And also a muzzle brake. And another thing here, a flip-up iron sight here. But of course, this gun comes with its own iron sights, which you can slap on here. Did not mean to grab the magazine. And one here. Very nice. Look a little bulky at first, but once you get the hang of it, that's pretty cool. And of course, just like the good old M4, it's chambered in the good old 5.56. We got the 30 round mags here, and we got the 60 round drum here. It's very nice for fall to fire. But yes, this is capable of full auto. So you got the fire selector, we got single and full auto. Looks like an M4, but does it shoot like an M4? The answer is yes. Now, as cool as 30 rounds is, you know we got to go full auto with a 60 rounder. And of course, got the bolt release. Let's get some more downrange. One thing I forgot to mention, these targets can actually break apart if you shoot them enough. Pay attention to the center of the target. You barely see through those holes there. If we get more firepower downrange, we can actually chip this target apart. Now, as cool as this gun is, and the next two that are coming up, you know me. When I see tactical rails, I like to make my weapons tactical. So, here's my HK416. You can see we got the red dot sight here. We also got a magnifier. And just press top of the touchpad. Right there. Of course, we got the forward grip, laser sight, and tactical light. You know, when you have a ton of rails, you can do whatever you want with a gun like this. Alright, now for the one weapon I was looking forward to the most. Let me just reposition myself real quick. Now this gun, this is the one I've been looking forward to most, the AK-12. And for those who don't know, it's basically the revised version of the legendary AK platform used by the Russian military. But we actually have not one, but 2 different versions of the AK-12. This is the prototype version. This is one you see in most of video games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, stuff like that. And we got the actual production version, which definitely has more of the features you see from a traditional AK. Though I'll be honest, I like the design of this one better. You know, I like the sort of boxy shape, almost gives a more futuristic look to it. What I also like about it is the ambidextrous fire selector. We got single, burst, full auto. No markings on there, but you know. We got the retractable stock. We got the rail system on the bottom and a full length one on the top. And one thing I really like about it is the ambidextrous charging handle. Very nice. Usually with AKs, you see it on this side. On the prototype version, and only the prototype version as far as I know, is on both sides. I really like ambidextrous firearms, so, which I'm not a left-handed, but if you were left-handed, you can just hold on this side and have no problems at all. Now what's cool about the AK-12 platform is that it uses the same firearm, the same ammunition as a good old AKS-74 and AK-74, the 545x39. And thus, it can use that weapon's magazines. This is an AKS-74U magazine. But if you want to go for the futuristic look, you could use the AK-12 magazine. And yes, it fits in both the prototype and the production version. And of course, we got the 30 rounders, we also got 20 round mags, 10 round mags, and also a 75 round drum magazine. Now, it looks a different color. Last I checked, it was all black. Now they made it look like olive green. Very nice. But of course, if it's just the same, it looks a little awkward like that. Usually you see the curved magazine, not this. Even the traditional drum magazines for the AKs, it's a little angled a bit. But here, it's like fully straight. But no big deal. Now, as I mentioned before, when I see tactical rails, I try to make this as tactical as possible. Thus, I customize both the prototype and the standard versions. But yeah, here's my AK-12. Got this little with that sight, tactical laser, and grip. Very nice. If I want to add like a flashlight here on the side, I could. I have one of those special adapters that add Picatinny rails on the sides. But yeah, like I said before, I like this version of the AK-12 better, even though it's a prototype version. I like it for its ambidextrous design. But I guess the Russian philosophy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you can see, we have the traditional AK-style receiver, but just like the AK-12 prototype, it has 3 different fire modes, which is really nice. But of course, we have the one-sided charging handle, so we have a nice little pistol grip. We also have a retractable stock here, and again, we have the rails on the bottom and the top. A nice little muzzle brake too. And as I mentioned before, they use the same magazines, so put it in. Of course, make sure the safety is disengaged. Let's go and find the production version first. And of course, with any AK, if you can't do that tactical reload, it's not an AK. So that's the actual production version, but of course, as I mentioned before, I like the prototype version better. Even though it's technically the same, I just like the design and the look of it. Like I said, it makes it look futuristic. Again, I've been looking forward to this gun to be in this game for a long time, and I'm so glad it's finally here. Let's see if we can chip off some more of this target here. And yes, you could still do the tactical reload. But with this ambidextrous charging handle, if I can grab it, it makes it even more cool. Okay, let's step up the firepower a little bit. Let's go for that 75 round drum now. We'll do it that way then. Now, obviously, it's a bulkier magazine. It's not as easy to do a tactical reload. It's possible, but it's not easy. So we're starting to chip away at the target a little bit, but I think we can go a little further. We just tore that target apart, but I think we could do a little better. Give me a second. Okay, so just to really show you just how destructible these new targets are, I brought a good old M249. This will come in a future video, but I'm just showing this off just to show you what we can do with these new targets. As you can see, we made the hole just a little bit bigger, but let's spice it up a little more. Okay, it's been a while since I brought this bad boy out. This is my custom Scalpel LE shotgun, and we're gonna see what we can do now. You see, we got some bigger holes there. But I think we can go more than that. Let's go and load up some buckshot ammo at the same time. See what we can do with this brand new ammo spawner. As you can see, it's much more organized now. So we got the ammo types on one side, or the calibers on one side, and the different ammo types on the other. So we're gonna go with some double buckshot here, so we can get the better idea of just how much firepower we can get down there now. Let's on that laser too. It's just barely holding together. Now you're thinking just like I am, how is it still standing after all that? Well, it's not standing anymore. So, this is part 1 of the Update 90 special for HDVR. Went along a little longer than I thought it would, but I thought I'd just show you some of the cool features that have been added, and of course, the new weapons. Next video, we'll be covering all the new shotguns that have been included. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to look forward to the next one. Until then, do svidaniya.